Nishpratyuha pranaya ghatitam devi nityannapayam Vishnustvam chetyanavadhigunam dvandvam anyonya lakshyam Seshachittam vimalamanasa maulayasya shrutinam Sampadhyante viharana vidhau yasya shayya viseshaha. Such a beautiful verse which speaks about the understanding which the god and the goddess Narayan and Lakshmi have between each other. Well, we speak of Chanda Mama very interestingly, Chanda Mama or Ambuli Mama. In Tamil they say Ambuli Mama, and in the north we call as Chanda Mama. Look at the way our ancestors have put philosophy and religion into daily practice. When we say Hinduism is a way of life, this is how it is. Who's Chanda Mama? We speak of the moon as Chanda Mama. We have read novels of Chanda Mama. Chanda is Chandra, who's the moon. Mama is uncle. Who is generally your mama or uncle? The mother's brother is called as Mama. Since he is Chandra Mama or Chanda Mama. Now for all of us, we refer to him as Chandra uncle. That is, my uncle is the moon. How is the moon our uncle? We need to understand that, right? Chanda Mama or Ambuli Mama, your moon that you see every night is your uncle. How come? Very interestingly, in the Balakand itself, you would have observed in 2 episodes where we spoke about Kurma Avatar. That is, how the Lord incarnated as tortoise and protected that Manthara mountain from sinking down. So he was the base, and over which the churning rod was the Mandara mountain, and that was pulled with a Vasuki Nag by the Devas and Asuras on both the sides. This is how we speak of churning of the Milky Ocean. From the churning arose different objects like Airavat, which is the 4-tusked white elephant, came Kaustubh gem, a resplendent gem, came the wish-shielding tree called Karpaka Vriksha, came the wish-shielding cow called as Kamadhenu, so on and so forth. We speak of Lakshmi as well. Lakshmi, Kshira Samudra Rajatanayam, the one who is the daughter of the Milky Ocean. Kshira Samudram means Milky Ocean, Tanayam is daughter, Lakshmi. Lakshmi Kshira Samudra Rajatanayam, she is the daughter of the Milky Ocean. From her, that is, along with her from the Milky Ocean, came the moon. So moon and Lakshmi came together from the Milky Ocean. Hence, moon is regarded as the brother to Lakshmi. That is why the hymn says, Chandram, Chandra Sahodarim, one who is as nectarine in her glances and who is the sister to Chandra, who is the sister to moon. Now, from the start I have been telling one thing. To the entire universe, it is goddess Mahalakshmi who is the mother, who is Narayan who is the father, and we are all their children. So, father is Narayan, mother is Mahalakshmi, we are all their children. What is the mother's brother called? Mama. Who came along with Lakshmi from the churning of the ocean? It was Chandra. So, it was moon which came along with Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi is our mother, and the one who came along with her is Chandra. He is our uncle, so we call him Chanda Mama. Isn't it an interesting coincidence? So, that we were observing in the last episode was how Ram and Lakshman were in the assembly of the kings. The kings tried their level best to lift the bow, they couldn't. Janak looked at Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra immediately said, Vatsa, the younger one, the dear one. Lakshman got up. He was afraid. The story shouldn't change. Lakshman, you sit down. Vatsa Ram, Dhanuf Pashya, look at the bow. Interestingly, if he has to tell Ram, lift the bow, he has to say, go lift the bow. Why did he say, Dhanuf Pashya, go look at the bow? There are many reasons cited by the commentators. They say, Dasharath was such a powerful king, and to him, his life, his breath was Ram. He took so much of time to convince himself to give Ram along with Vishwamitra to the journey. But when Ram walked and he went along with Vishwamitra, and at that point of time, if Ram had got up and Vishwamitra had said, go there, pick up the bow, lift the bow, handle it and come, probably Ram would go and complain to his father, my dear father Dasharath, this Vishwamitra Maharishi has been torturing me and he has been troubling me to do this and that. So Vishwamitra as a Rishi was being very cautious. So he said, see Ram, I am not asking you to lift the bow, I am just saying go see the bow. Dhanuf Pashya, that is the first reason. The second reason is, intelligent people always recognize things at the need of that particular point of time. Ram very well knew that the assembly of kings had gathered there to find if they were the right choice for being the groom to Sita, and to be the husband to Sita you need to lift the bow. This was the challenge that was placed. So Ram was very well aware of it. So there was no need for Vishwamitra to reiterate the challenge saying that Ram, you need to go to the place, lift the bow. So with just the word see, Dhanuf Pashya, Ram would get the implication and the inner meaning that Vishwamitra is asking me to go near the bow and lift it. So instead of telling lift the bow, he just said Dhanuf Pashya. The other reason given is Kosalaha, people from the province of Kosala, Ingitagnaha, they could understand things by gestures. If I would gesture, that it means no. Yes. So Vishwamitra looked at the bow and looked at Ram. So he said, Ram, Dhanuf Pashya, that means don't see, lift. So people of Kosala province were very intelligent in understanding gestures. The other reason given is, Ram, after having had a glimpse of Sita at that particular low-lying balcony as per the Tamil poet Kamban, and in the Bagicha, in the garden as per Tulsidas in his Ramacharithamanas, was having all his mind fixed on Sita. His eyes were also fixed on Sita, who was seated at the pavilion. So Vishwamitra, as a rightful sage and as a illustrious preceptor, had to guide his student Ram in the right direction. So he said, Ram, you are the son to the great king Dasharath. You are a valorous person, you are a courageous person. You need to show your power and courage here. Instead, you are having your eyes fixed on Sita. So don't look at Sita, look at the bow. Vatsarama Dhanuf Pashya, not at Sita, at the bow. Vatsarama Dhanuf Pashya. So this was an act to tell Ram to be vigilant. So look at the way our commentators have gone, experienced and enjoyed themselves and smeared themselves with the joy of Ramayana, and have enjoyed Ramayana and given to us that great commentaries. You have great commentaries. You have one Sanskrit commentary called as Bhushanam by one great person called Govindaraj. Since it has been composed by Govindaraj, this commentary called Bhushanam is also called as Govindarajiyam. There is the third one by Tilaka. So with all such commentaries, there are many more. When I speak of three, don't think there are three. There are more than 100 great commentaries to the 24,000 sacred Sanskrit verses of Srimad Ramayana. So each of these commentaries are interesting and great in their own aspect. So once Ram was told, he went forward, he made obeisance to his preceptor Vishwamitra, went forward, took the bow, and the minute he took the bow, people, the assembly of kings just stood up in wonder. They were awestruck. They were awestruck to see. Probably the nature is also awestruck. It is blowing with all its speed here. So he just lifted the bow, and generally bow would be in the shape. That's why people who had great eyebrows, the poets would say that their eyebrows represent the bow, because the bow comes like this. And people with little hair here, it will seem as if it is one eyebrow. It will come like this. So a bow can work only when the string is strung. So the string that was there had to be pulled up and tied at the top. So what Ram did was, he pulled that bow, he kept it down and lifted that string and wanted to bring it up. For that you need to bend the bow a little, and then you need to put a knot at the top. While he tried doing it, since it was already a bow that was handled by Lord Shiv and had the crack in it, because of this extreme pressure which Ram put, it broke into two in the middle. The bow is this shaped, and at the middle it broke into two. And this sound was heard to the entire world, from where in one of the mountains was Parashuram doing the penance. He had the other bow. I told you about Lord Shiv and Lord Vishnu fighting. Lord Shiv's bow had come to Janak, whereas Lord Vishnu's bow was with Parashuram. He heard the noise and he immediately knew that the twin bow to what bow he had held, called as Shiv Dhanus, must have been broken. So he walked in the direction in which the sound came, and he reached the city of Mithila. Meanwhile, while Ram had struck and broken the bow, now Janak was so happy that Sita was going to get married to the person whom he also thought would be the right groom for Sita. So Sita came down the stairs with a beautiful garland of flowers. She went right before Ram, where there was an assembly of kings, and Janak was so happy, and while she was just about to garland him, Ram said, "Wait." Why was this sudden word from Ram? And people were awestruck at this also. Why should Ram say that? He said, "I have come here because my great Acharya Vishwamitra has brought me here. Because my father Dasharath said you need to follow every word of Vishwamitra, I have come here. Because Vishwamitra said you lift the bow, I have come and lifted the bow. Now, if I would marry Sita, it means that I am marrying in the absence of my parents, and my parents are not aware of it. At least in this particular avatar, I should have to listen to the words of my parents." Why did he say at least in this avatar? Because he was very sure the next avatar he was taking was that of Krishna. And in Krishna avatar, he married 16,108 people, and in none of the marriages was an arranged marriage. None of the marriages were proposed by the father Vasudev and mother Devaki. All were sudden marriages, and most of them were love marriages. So he was very sure in the next incarnation I might not give space for my parents to choose a bride for me. At least in this avatar, where I have chosen to marry only once, let my parents come and feel that Sita is the right bride whom I should get engaged to. So he said, "Please call my parents, let them fix it." Janak was very happy. Now, we may imagine or we may think that Janak would have been sad by Ram's reply. He said, "I am very happy with your reply. Now that you are a very contented person, you are also a person who respects your parents. So let me send an invitation to them." And he writes an invitation saying that, "Hey Dasharath, please come along with your wives and your countrymen to my city. We all welcome you because our great daughter Sita has been won by your prince Ram, your son Ram. And as a great administrator, as the father, it is your duty to come and bless the children. Please do come." And the telegram reached the hands. Now, when the news reached Ayodhya, all of them were so delighted. Mother Kaushalya, Mother Kaikeyi, Mother Sumitra, and many other mothers, all the mothers, they were so delighted that Ram was to get married to Sita. Along with that marriage, Janak thought that why shouldn't I get my second daughter Urmila married to Ram's brother Lakshman. Likewise, he recommended his brother, "Hey brother, please get your two daughters Mandavi and Shrutakirti married to the other two brothers of Ram, Bharat and Shatrughna." So Dasharath was delighted. Why not? A father will be delighted if all the four marriages were to happen in the same kingdom at the same point of time. So it was probably saving of time to King Dasharath. So he said, "Let's all go to Mithila," and they all marched towards Mithila. And Mithila wore a festive look. It had people, the Mithila citizens got all the 9 gems. We speak of Navaratna. Right, we speak of emerald, we speak of ruby, we speak of diamond, we speak of gometak, we speak of indraneel, we speak of the pearls, we speak of the coral, so on and so forth. So they brought all the different kind of gems, and each of them were thrown into buckets, and people started grinding them, pounding them, and then you had the fine dust that was glistening. Just imagine emerald, which is the green precious stone that was pounded, and you had green powder, and you had red powder from ruby, you had yellow powder from topaz, you had blue powder from sapphire, you had corals, you had pearls, you had silver, you had gold, you had diamond powder, and all of this was used to draw the rangoli. Just imagine in those days India would have been such a prosperous country where rangoli was drawn with the powder that was got from precious stones. So people started drawing it. Different kinds of flowers, flowers that people have never seen from various countries were brought, and all of them were strung into beautiful garlands and huge malas, and they were left as torans. We speak of toran in Hindu culture, right? So that was left as torans in every household, and people started bringing banana leaves, and there was a banana plant that was laid, and the mango leaves were laid as the toran, and then there was a rangoli drawn in every house. Wow! Mithila looked like heaven that had come down to earth, and people were so happy that their best property, who was Sita, was getting married to the best property of Ayodhya, who was Ram. And what could be a greater glimpse, or what could be a greater scene than seeing Sita getting married to Ram, and Ram having his hands secured in the hands of Sita. So to witness such a scene, kings from all quarters had gathered and they were present at the assembly of Janak to check, even if we were quite a big failure in lifting the bow, let us at least see the great marriage of Ram and Sita. Sita had come, Ram had come, citizens from Ayodhya had come, citizens from Mithila had come, and Janak and Dasharath along with their wives were there, all the kingsmen were there. It was a beautiful scene of Sita's Vivaham with Ram, Sita's marriage with Ram. Great mantras were recited. Let us see the importance of what kind of mantras were recited and what did Janak tell Ram while giving away his daughter Sita, and what is the importance or implication of the Hindu marriage, what happens according to the Vedic culture, what are the customs and what is quite important about it in the next episode. Thank you.